Hello everybody and welcome back to the last of our When Should I Pick Blank character series. Today we're going over Roadhog. He's a little bit of a wild pick here, but also you might notice that I'm actually at a different place. I'm back home. I have my backdrop now here. We're probably going to get something like this for college whenever I actually, whenever Christmas comes around. I might buy something. I don't know. I don't make enough money to buy backdrops right now. I have other things I have to do. But anyways, I really appreciate you guys all for sticking with me through this. And here's the last one. Let's get right into Roadhog and let's get this carried away. Now, on right off the bat, I'm going to have to say is an A tier with the Roadhog. Reason being is that anteing whatever the Roadhog hooks, which is generally going to be a tank, is pretty much confirming that kill for him. After all of the different patches that we've had with Roadhog, with him getting more damage and less damage and more ammo and weird healing stuff. The anti-nade is definitely something that's consistent with helping the Hog out. In terms of playing against the Hog, it's very strong, but we'll go into that in later videos. Sorry. Also, Nano Whole Hog used to be a lot stronger than it is now, but it's still something that is worth noting if there is an enclosed space, or if he's trying to kill someone while they're mid-ultimate, like a Ryan when he shatters. That's something that's really, really important to look at when you're looking at the Hog synergy, but other than that, there's not a whole lot. But the thing is that you have to understand that there aren't a whole lot of characters that synergize well with the Roadhog, because he's a tank character. If he was a DPS character, I think it would be a little bit different, but we'll get into that as we go through the video here. Ash, I'm going to have to put in the C tier. Only reason being is that a headshot on a hook is pretty much free. Besides that, what are you going to do? Dynamite a hook? You're not getting as much AoE, an AoE value out of that. And you're probably just wasting dynamite at that point. Bob also doesn't do too well with the Roadhog unless you're trying to boot them into the Bob, which I could see. But what I do have to say is that if you do hook something as Roadhog, Ash is good to follow up on that. Baptiste, I'm going to have to probably put at the same, probably top C tier, low B tier, I'm going to have to say here, because there isn't really any synergy. I mean, you can't really IMO a hook, it doesn't do anything. You can maybe window a hook and it's okay, but like that's a little weird to do. Also, it's really just the left click. The big thing here is that Baptiste really works into anything, and it's not like a throw pick, like we're going to see with the Bastion here. I think that Bastion's one of the worst characters to probably play with the Roadhog, only because there's no shield then for the Bastion, unless you're running Orisa. And Orisa's shield is only 600 HP, so you're really not getting much out of that Bastion there, and you're going to get more out of characters like Junkrat or, I don't know, Cassidy, Soldier. We'll go into those characters that work really well with the Roadhog as we move on here. Brigitta's going to be one of those lower tier ones as well. I think stun is good with the hook, but it's just not needed. You need something that's going to really kill them much faster. And the thing is with Hog is that he wants to flank. He wants to do his own thing. Brig doesn't really let him do that. Brig needs to really play stacked with her team, even though the range for Inspire is really, really big. She works better with other characters, and Hog doesn't really need the sustain that Brig provides. Hog works much better with characters like Ana or Zen or maybe even Mercy. Doomfist, another one of those characters I'm going to have to put up below Brig, in my opinion. There's no synergy between Doom and Hog. Hog wants to hook things in and kill them. Doom needs to punch them into walls. They want to both do their own thing, which is great. But the thing is that there's no synergy really between them. Again, same kind of thing with D.Va here. We're seeing a lot of characters that don't really work too well with the Hog. He isn't a very synergistic character. What is D.Va going to do? The defense matrix of Roadhog? Be aggressive with Roadhog? No, there's nothing really to do there. Hog just wants to play by himself, do his own thing, get picks, yada, yada, yada. Now, Echo, I'm going to have to put in C tier. And we're moving this along just because it doesn't need a whole lot of explanation here. Echo is good with Mercy, and Mercy kind of goes well with a Hog. Same kind of idea with Ash. Echo can also maybe sticky mines a tank that Hog could pull, or just do some left clicks on it. It's not very synergistic, but at least Echo can kind of follow up on things, and it's not detrimental, like Whip Shot or Punch or D.Va wanting to be aggressive. Obviously, none of these synergies are going to be super, super strong just because Hog as a character is just not the best character in the game. There's just a lot of tanks that outclass him currently. Maybe that changes in Overwatch 2. Maybe it does, doesn't. I don't know. But moving on, let's go to Genji here. Now, Genji, I'm going to have to put higher up on this list. I'm going to start him off at a low A tier, maybe top B tier. Only reason being is that if he does use his dash and the Hog hooks someone in, as long as he hits something, it could be anything on that target, he will get his dash reset back. That is very, very nice. Besides that, there isn't a whole lot of synergies between the two characters, but what you have to understand is that Genji's whole entire kit revolves around his dash reset. If Genji didn't get dash resets, he would be even worse. he'd be awful. He would never get picked. Dash resets are very, very important for Genji. Yeah, with that in mind, let's keep going here. I think Hanzo's a solid B tier. Maybe not a B tier. Maybe he's kind of with the Ashe. I think a little bit better than the Ashe and Bap. Only reason being is that sonar can be very, very nice. If a character is walking in a straight line and doesn't realize that the Hog can hook them, maybe he pulls them in. Besides that, Dragon Storm Arrow is nice for if there's a hook, you can easily kill that as compared to Ashe's Dynamite, which is really why I'm thinking low B tier, high C tier. I'm going to put a B tier just for now. But yeah, let's keep moving on here. I'm going to have to put Junkrat S tier, and I'm really going to get some hate for this. Reason being, though, all Junkrat needs to do is throw down a trap and have the Hog play on that trap. I know it's a little bit weird, and it's kind of out there in terms of strategic. It was like a beta strat, but it still holds today. The only reason why the characters aren't really being picked together is because both the characters kind of suck. Yeah, I said it. They kind of suck. Unless you're really good at those characters, and then obviously the character's going to be good. Besides that, I guess there isn't really too much synergy between the two. I mean, it's a really easy junk mine to hit if the target is hooked, I guess. Not junk mine, junk grenade. And they kind of both do their own thing. They're both standalone characters, which is why they work really, really well together. Lucio now, we're moving on to Lucio here. I honestly might move Brig up just because of Shield Bash, because Lucio really takes the cake for like worst support in the game to play with a Hog. What are you going to do? Speed a Hog? I mean, I guess you could, but Hog just wants to do his own thing. There are just better supports to pick, and we'll get into that as we move on here very shortly. Cassidy is kind of like a Brig here, except Cassidy's more well-rounded, which is why I'm going to have to put it in B tier. Cassidy can really shoot that Hog hook from wherever the Hog does hook it in the fight. Flash fan is also decent. Not even needing a flash. You can just fan the hammer off of the hook, and it's really, really good. It's just better than characters like maybe Ashe or Echo because their cooldowns aren't single target. Or, I mean, Ashe or Echo can be single target, but she kind of wants to be in the air doing her own thing. Cassidy wants to be playing with teams, so he's already going to kind of be right next to the Hog, which is really nice. And we are 7.5 minutes in, so if you still are watching this video, I really, really appreciate it. Drop a comment, tell me something, I don't know. I just really appreciate you being here, okay? And let's move on to the Mei here. Might be another one of those really bad ones. The only reason why I could see you calling a synergy between this is if you wall off the hook, but you should be killing that hook before it even gets to walk, so it's not very good. Mercy gotta be best character to pick with the Hog. If you can damage boost the Hog, he reliably one-shots most squishies and reliably 1 to 2 shots most tanks. So Mercy's very, very strong with Roadhog just because of the nature of Roadhog. He doesn't need heals. He has self-heals. All he needs is more damage to finish off the hooks. Okay, now I know I said Lucio is really, really bad, but Lucio might be a little bit better than the Hog than the Moira. I mean, Moira is all about healing and doing damage, while Hog does the healing himself. Moira is a pretty much throw pick with the Hog. Yeah, okay, maybe Mercy isn't the best. Maybe Orisa is better. The only thing here, pull hook. Orisa was literally made for Roadhog. Literally, because the devs kind of realized, we've been in goats forever. We need pull hook. We need Hog to be good. Because Hog and Orisa haven't been strong for a whole while. Let's do that. Let's buff the pull. Let's buff... Yeah. That's the whole reason why Orisa is a character right now. The pull is so good for Hog. The only reason why the synergy isn't strong anymore is because Sigma exists. So what happened was the dev team was like, oh my, we made pull hook and we don't know if anything's going to be able to beat it. And then they're like, oh, let's just add 2 shields that are really good together so that they can't pull hook anymore. Give more shield options so pull hook isn't impressive. Well, now double shield is impressive. So look what you did, Blizzard. I love this game. Anyways, let's go on to the Pharah here. Pharah is kind of on the same boat as Echo. It's just a little bit worse, I would say. I mean, you could say directing is pretty easy from anywhere on the map, so maybe they're kind of tied. Barrage doesn't really do too hot with it, and you're flying in the air, so it's not really direct synergy with the Hog anyways. Reaper's a weird one. I mean, when was the last time that you saw a Reaper and Hog play together? Because here's the problem. Reaper wants to get in their face because he doesn't have a hook. Hog does. So Hog can kind of do whatever he wants and doesn't need the speed boost, whereas Reaper needs the team to be there. Now, if the Hog is 100% hook accuracy, Andy, on cooldown, Reaper would probably be the best with the Hog because then he pulls him right into the direct LOS. The thing is here is that that's not probable, and 2 shields now exist, and now you're down a tank and a DPS if they run double shield, because those 2 are not going to do anything unless you break the shield, and guess what? Reaper can't break the shield, then that makes Hog bad. So let's move on here. We got Reinhardt. Reinhardt! I want to say that it works, but there isn't really any real synergy between these 2 characters if you really think about it. You have a shield, and maybe you could shield a hook, but Ryan just does so much better with other characters, and we've already covered that in other tier lists. Because of this, I think I'm going to have to put it kind of in the middle of C tier, whereas it works, but it's not necessarily good. There are better tanks to run with a Hog, and we're going to go into that with Sigma. Sigma, I'm going to have to put A tier. The reason being is that Sigma wants to take angles. Well, not necessarily. Sigma can play with the team. He can play stacked with double shield. If you're running a very spam heavy comp, or it really depends. Don't take my words out of context. Sigma in that sense is very flexible. Sigma in Brawl can be used. Sigma in ball comps can be used. Sigma can either flank, he can play with the team, he can do everything. Hog wants to flank and take his own angle, great, so can Sigma. And that's why Sigma works very, very well with Hog. Also, the shield is pretty nice to just toss over to a Hog if he wants to get aggressive for a hook. Besides that, there isn't a whole lot of synergies here, but you have to understand there are a lot of characters that don't synergize with Hog as compared to the characters that do. And the characters that are at least a little bit good with Hog, you have to give credit to that are very, very strong. Soldier, I'm going to have to put kind of middle B tier. Only reason being is that Hog can take his own angles, and then because Soldier is probably going to be across the map within LOS of the Hog and his hook, he can at least capitalize on it, and it doesn't really take away from his gameplay. Sombra's going to have to be kind of next to the D.Va and Doomfist here, probably a little bit worse. Sombra doesn't do a lot of burst damage. Hog needs to get the hook and kill. That is his entire kit. Health packs are nice for Hog, I guess, but it's probably going to be allocated to the other tank anyways. And besides that, I don't really see a whole lot that's working too hot with the Hog here. Symmetra, I'm going to have to put at least C tier. How high in C tier? Probably not very high. I'm probably going to put a pretty low C tier. Here's the thing. TP hooks at the start of rounds are super strong, and it lets Hog get some value in metas he really shouldn't. Besides that, it's really bad. But it's really important to understand that synergy exists on every single map you play where you are attacking. And the spawn is like right there. So like Junkertown. Junkertown's one. Watchpoint for Gibraltar is one. If they want to spawn camp on Havana, maybe you can like TP them back left, and then they have to deal with a Hog in their back line. That's something you can do. There's definitely enough like synergy between those 2 abilities that it can work. Besides that, I can't really see it working too much unless you're duoed with the person and it's like insane synergy, which it's just not going to be. I'm going to put Torbjorn just above Reaper, only because Torbjorn kind of works as a shotgun, but he also has left click and it has some projectile to it. Overload is also really strong. I think that's really nice from the character. And also pulling a character into a turret LOS is pretty much dead. I think there's a lot more, it's like soft synergy, which is why I want to put it B tier. But Hog Torb isn't necessarily bad. It can still really work. Tracer, it's pretty much, again, it's the same idea as we've seen with a lot of these other characters. I mean, Tracer does very well into a Hog if the Hog sucks and the Tracer's movement is good, because then she can just get pulse bomb for days. But besides that, I mean, hook pulse isn't really needed because all you need to do is shoot it. I mean, Tracer just wants to do her own thing, but to a point where Hog doesn't really help her. There are just other characters that do a little bit better at doing chunky damage, which is what Hog kind of wants to do. Widow, there's no synergy here. There really is no synergy. Does it work? Absolutely it works. I mean, it's Widow. Is there any synergy between the 2 characters? And what are you going to pool and then she headshots? No, the thing's going to die. I just think there are better characters to pick. Ashe is a little more consistent with the Mercy, and that's why we're kind of seeing it there. Winston, another one of those characters. When are you ever going to see this work? Winston Hog. When have you ever seen it? I don't think I need to explain myself. Now, for this next one, I may have to explain myself. Ball is going to have to go top A tier. Ball Hog is a comp that we have seen before. The whole entire reasoning being you surround the enemy. That's all the ball comps ever are. Hog, though, he can really take his own angle and not really care. He can be as aggressive as he wants with the ball, and it's all about just playing a bunch of different angles and then killing the enemy. Ball helps him do that by displacing the enemy very, very strongly, very well, and it's nice. Zarya, I'm going to have to put bottom B tier. I know, we've seen Hog Zarya metas before. Okay, anyways, the thing is that Zarya only really synergizes with the Hog when a mirror matchup is being played. Besides that, you can't really find too much value in it. The reason why I want to say Zarya Hog's synergy is B tier is because it is very strong in the right circumstance, because you can bubble your Hog getting pulled by their Hog. You bubble it, and then you can just be extremely aggressive as Hog, not even having to use hook. You get to shoot their enemy bubble down, hook, get a free shot off, and then you win the 1v1. It's very dynamic. It's very strong. I like it. Besides that, you're going to see that in ladder a lot. You're not going to see that in team play. I'm almost certain it'll never happen again, because Overwatch 2 is coming and they don't seem to be doing any balance changes. So the game feels incredibly stale and probably won't change. But that brings us to our last character, which I'm going to have to go with Zen at A tier here. I think Zen is very strong because you can just discord whoever he pulls. The thing is that he doesn't really defend Zen a whole lot, like a D.Va or maybe even a Zarya would. The thing is with Zen is that he's a glass cannon. The tanks can help peel for that a little bit. I don't want to put it too much higher than... I mean, I might just put it S tier if it works out. Zen, because Zen Mercy's really strong. It really depends on the situation. That's why it's going bottom S tier. But discording the tank is just so strong. It's better than anti because you have it forever. You can just go... Zoom, discord, dink dink, dead. I think it kind of works together really, really well, but Zen works better with like Ball and Sigma and D.Va. We've seen it in terms of logical metas we've seen in the past few years. But yeah, that just brings us into 17 minutes and 30 seconds. I really appreciate you guys for watching this video, as well as the entire playlist. We're not going to do the DPS. It's going to take way too long. You can kind of see how it works together, the DPS at least, with the tanks that we've gone over here. So if you have any questions about DPS characters, please do let me know. If you are American, look out for a video this Thursday, and also happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe in your travels and everything. I hope you have a nice day off. But until next time, guys, I've got to peace out and pass out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.